Foothills, can you hear us? Good. Edmonton?
Yeah, can hear you.
There it is. Travis?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hey,
Yeah, we can hear you too, Leo.
we hear you. Can you hear us, Leo? Leo, can you hear the shelter? Uh,
Leo, can you hear us?
no.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're good.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. David said good morning. Colleen didn't say good morning. We just have a couple of announcements. Good morning, Edmonton. And good morning, Foothills. Man, Matt, you've never looked better. How'd you do in fantasy football last weekend, Matt?
Don't go there.
I beat us and it was so good. I'll just say that.
Anyway, everybody, good morning, folks. We just have a couple of quick announcements. The first one is, I know we're all very excited about the fact that we have a 3-on-3 hockey tournament taking place on the main floor of 102 that I hadn't heard about till the Christmas team announced it on Monday, but we are very excited. Chad, who's not here this morning, is so excited, he signed up his whole team. So it's Chad, and every member of the team is named Chad, so it's going to be something. We're very excited about that. No, he doesn't, but I did tell him this morning. There's a long story there. We get it, right? Just a reminder, next week we have the Tom Jackson concert, and that's taking place on the 12th of Center Street. At this point, we are at about 580 tickets, and we really need to dig hard and pray hard because we need to get that up to about 900. So start praying. Or buying tickets, or it'd make a lovely Christmas gift, don't you think? Honestly, wouldn't that be nice, Christmas for your loved ones? A couple sets of tickets. Nobody's nodding. Okay. Anyway, that's taking place. The other thing, 3-on-3, we talked about. Next week's, it says next week's speaker. Next week is a site-specific Faith Connect. So Red Deer's doing their thing. We're doing our thing. Shelter's doing their thing. And Edmonton will do theirs. We have got Nicole Smith coming back, and a few of us are going to, and we're going to turn into a carol sing next week. So we're all just going to hear and rock some Christmas carols. So a little round of applause would be good. Thank you. If you can't get them to applaud, just ask them to. That's my sort of thing. This week's speaker is Boris, and I talked to Boris about a month back. I just said it's about the right time of year to talk about self-care as we get into Christmas time. There can be a lot on our plates and a lot of interactions, and I don't care what department you're in, Christmas is, the level just goes up a little bit. And so I asked Boris if he would come and just kind of remind us how we can maybe look after ourselves a little better over Christmas so we can do as the best job we possibly can to look after the clients God's given to us to look after. Boris.
Thank you, Bill. I'm really looking forward to hearing Carol sing. I've never heard her before, so I'm hoping she's good next week. And so in my profession as Bill forgot his drum set there to drum for me. In my profession as a psychologist, it is actually possible to have a team made up of Chad. We call that dissociative identity disorder, or it used to be called multiple personality disorder. And it's entirely possible, you know, that different parts of yourself did not know what they were doing, so they signed up for the same team. It's improbable, but it's possible. I mean, it's about the only thing I haven't seen here yet, so it'll be really, really cool. When Bill asked me to talk about self-care, some of my staff have graciously reminded me of what a hypocrite I am. And that was about a month and a half ago. And so they keep doing that every day. They come and they say, "Oh, you're speaking on self-care," and then they laugh. And so it hasn't worn off, and I'm expecting a barrage after today on reminding me of double standards of what I'm talking about. So I would like to thank them for actually reminding of that and changing what I'm talking about today. I'm still going to talk about self-care, but from a little bit of a different perspective. I remember when I started here 4 years ago, and I started counseling with a lot of people, and a lot of people that we work with have tremendous emotional, psychological stories that are laden with trauma and laden with all kinds of unpleasant events that happen in their lives. And I remember one of my colleagues asking me, "How can you do this? How can you listen to this all day long, you know, and not go crazy?" And I told him, "Well, that's the first thing that you're going wrong, assuming that I am not crazy. That ship has sailed a long time ago. I already am there." So. And the thing is, as we work with our clients, we realize one thing, that the pain is there, and when people close one door on it, it knocks on somewhere else. It'll always come through. The same thing happens in our lives, you know. As we think about the problems in our lives, oftentimes if we try to push things away, they will come in through another door. And this is where I'm a little conflicted about self-care, because it sounds so great, doesn't it? Self-care, take a bubble bath, you know, you go for a nice little walk and observe the sunset, and you take time off, and then you go watch a movie and all this other stuff. But really what you are doing is actually filling your time with stuff in order to put away from your thoughts things that have caused you or gave you this need to actually do self-care. Does that make sense? All I'm saying? So what we're really doing is we're substituting one thing with another, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit more. And don't get me wrong, self-care is very, very important. Actually, it's throughout the Bible. I've done my research. For example, in Proverbs 11:17, it says, "Those who are kind benefit themselves, but the cruel bring ruin on themselves." So, in other words, if you're thinking about it, and I looked at some other translations that are a little bit better, they say, "Those who are kind to themselves bring benefit, and those who are cruel to themselves bring ruin on themselves." So it's throughout the Bible that you should kind of be nice to yourself. It's not really that difficult, but in reality, we are not that nice to ourselves. So this is the time when a lot of people get stressed out. Now, I have to tell you something. I am tremendously blessed, and here is why. I have an amazing wife. You know why? Because she doesn't care about gifts. In fact, it was our anniversary about 2 weeks ago. It was on Friday, and the next Wednesday we're sitting having dinner, and our daughter goes, "Wasn't your anniversary last week?" And we're like, "It was?" So, and my wife goes, "I really don't know what day it was." I said, "I think it's around the end of November." And so we actually had to go and dig out our marriage certificate to find out the exact date. And it's very liberating. Because look, there is no pressure. You know, people are stressing out right now. I know some of you are so stressed out to find that perfect gift that is going to go, "Oh, you love me so much," right? And so people get so stressed out, and there's this frenzy in I was going to say grocery stores. It's okay if that's going to make your loved ones happy if you buy, you know, a pack of or a sack of potatoes or something like that. That's fine. But, you know, people are frenzied. They're stressed out. They're looking for that perfect gift. I give you a secret. Okay? So, if you're trying to find the perfect gift for your loved one, here's what you do. This is self-care tip number 1. You start the conversation. We're doing gifts this year. Oh, yeah, that's amazing. And then you kind of have to work in their curiosity. What did you get me? And then you say this. This is very crucial. Then you say, guess. Okay? So now they're getting, the first thing they say, that's the thing they want. Okay? You run to the store, you get that thing, you score big. I mean, there's no way, that works for everything. Honey, we should go out for dinner. Don't ask, where do you want to go? You go, guess where I want to take you to tonight. First thing comes out of their mouth, that's the place you're going to. We should watch a movie tonight. What movie? Guess what I'm thinking about. It'll reduce your stress tremendously. Now, please don't give that secret out. I'm trying to sell this. I'm going to make some money on that. So it's like, it's perfect thing. People pay good money. Do you know people pay good money for holiday shoppers to go and do their holiday shopping for them? This is like revolutionary. I'm going to destroy that industry single-handedly in like 10 seconds. It's going to be done. So why do we get stressed? Like, this is kind of jovial a little bit, but there is a couple of things. Number one, we get stressed out because of our past. I want you to kind of think about that. I often explain to my clients, my patients, that abused children often find it hard to disentangle themselves from their parents, okay? From their dysfunctional families. Whereas children who have grown away from good, loving parents have a lot less conflict about their childhoods. When I talk to my clients, what am I talking about? Well, I want to have a shirt. It's going to make my job much easier as a psychologist. They're just going to say one phrase here. Tell me about your mother. All right? And it's true. Most of the clients I work with have really conflictual relationships with their mothers, or with their parents, or with their families. But the task of a good parent is really to kind of send their kids away and not cling on to them forever and ever and ever. But most of my clients are dealing with their families over and over and over and over again. Now, you probably don't have that kind of stuff. But we all have stuff from our past that kinds of stresses us out. And we haven't perhaps dealt with it. And it's making us go crazy at times. Second reason why we get stressed out is because of our present. It's very simple. And research shows that we get stressed out because of these three factors. Number one is uncertainty. If there is uncertainty in your life, that causes you a significant stress. When you're thinking about your current situation, if you don't know what is happening, it is going to cause you a significant stress. Number two is the lack of information. Anytime you don't have enough information about something, you're supposed to do something, you're going to go crazy, all right? Especially when your boss expects you to do something, right? And you were given a task, but you don't have enough information, and you have to kind of walk in darkness, it'll drive you crazy. And the third thing is the loss of control. If you have no control over your life, or the situations over your life, it'll cause you great stress. And stress is a horrible thing. It'll actually kill you. There is significant amount of research showing that most diseases that we are encountering right now are really autoimmune responses to stress, including cancer, including all kinds of things that we're trying to deal with biologically or medically. But really they're stress related. It's a body's prolonged response to stress. Gabor Mate wrote this: the salient stresses in the lives of most human beings today, at least in the industrialized world, are emotional. Just like laboratory animals unable to escape, people find themselves trapped in lifestyles and emotional patterns inimical to their health. The higher the level of economic development, it seems, the more anesthetized we have become to our emotional realities. We no longer sense what is happening in our bodies and cannot therefore act in self-preserving ways. The physiology of stress eats away at our bodies not because it has outlived its usefulness, but because we may no longer have the competence to recognize its signals. let's face it, the lives that we live are full. So the gurus of self-help, what do they tell you? What do you need to do? You need to fill your life even more. Makes sense, right? Well, you're already busy as it is, so now you have to find time for that nice little walk and watching the sunset. You have to find time to have a bath. You have to find time to do all these wonderful self-care things, and if you don't, you're going to go crazy. Now, don't listen to them. Okay? Don't listen to people who are telling you that you're crazy. Don't ever listen to them. They're not helping you. Okay? Don't listen to people who are always finding problems. There's always going to be people like that. Now, we need them, okay? I read this really interesting thing yesterday. An optimist designs an airplane. A pessimist invents a parachute. Right? So we need both sides of people. It's very important. But don't listen to people who are always seeing everything in light of trauma, because that's just one part of your life. Stress is only one part of your life. There's so much more to you than stress. And if this is what you focus on, and if this is the gurus that you're listening to, it'll destroy you. Okay? Life is hard enough without people telling you how crappy it is. You don't need that. You really don't need that. So then the third thing that stresses out is our future. So we had our past, our present, our future. So again, the reason why we get stressed out about our future is because we don't understand the difference between perfectionism and healthy striving. We are often trapped in this perfectionistic tendencies. I know you're going to say, no, I'm just doing my best. But we get stressed because everything around us has to be perfect. Well, you know what? It doesn't have to be perfect. It has to be good enough. All right? It has to be good enough. It doesn't have to be perfect. And if we put ourselves under this huge pressure of perfectionism, that hampers success. And in fact, it's often a path to depression, anxiety, addiction, and life paralysis. And that's not good. I have conversations with my daughter every single day. She has really strong perfectionistic tendencies, really strong. And oftentimes I have to tell her, well, it's okay. She's like, no, it's not. You have to be perfect. And so what she does, like she's a teenager or entering teenage years, and that's, did you know that gray hairs are hereditary? Parents inherit them from their children. That's true. Until last year, not a single one. She hit puberty. There it is. It's popping all over. I'm inheriting it from her, right? Room messy, very messy. So you need to clean this. It's becoming a health hazard and all this. I'm trying from all kinds of angles here. But the problem is not that she, can't do it. She doesn't want to do it. The problem is her perfectionist tendency. I can't do it perfect. Then I just give up. I'm not going to do it at all. And we do that in our lives all the time. We do that in our lives all the time. I'm guilty of that too. Like I have a chapter in the book that's been overdue for about 4 months right now. I'm trying to avoid the editor every time I can because of my chapter coming. Really, in reality, it's my perfectionistic tendency to want to make it perfect, and it doesn't have to be perfect. It has to be good enough to be published. And when you hear the topic, you'll probably go, yeah, whatever. Even if you're a bunch of gibberish, it's going to be okay. So the question then is what to do for self-care. As I said already, and I hope you picked up on this, what we tend to do is we really tend to fill up our time. We try to become even busier. Rollo May was a famous psychologist back in the 50s and 60s. He wrote this: many modern people have gone so far in their dependence on others for their feeling of reality that they are afraid that without it, they would lose the sense of their own existence. Man, I wonder what he would say about people who are dependent on Facebook likes and Instagram likes and those kind of, and Twitter followers and those kind of things. Isn't that true? People go crazy. Like people go crazy. Do you know how many people picked up my Twitter tweet, whatever they're called, yesterday? I don't know how many because I don't have it. I don't really care. My self-sense doesn't depend on that. We start filling up our lives so quickly. And this ironic habit of human beings to run faster, and we have lost our way. We think if we just run faster, we're going to be so much better. Now here's the little thing. If you lost your way and you run faster, that means only one thing. Can you tell me what? Oh yeah, you're getting lost even quicker. You're running away even faster from where you should be. That's a good plan, isn't it? Like, it works so great. I love how we humans are so structured. It is so good, right? So, and so people do all kinds of stuff. Well, we have these little things. Aren't they amazing? With a smartphone, it sucks when you realize that your smartphone is smarter than you. It really starts, it sucks. But that's what we do because we think, oh my goodness, I have to check all these things. I was in the mall about a year ago downtown in the core, and there was this really attractive young lady walking and looking at her phone. And so she ran in a post, fell down. So naturally, a couple people jump and offer her help. She's no, I'm okay. She does all that. What do you think she does right after she finished getting up? Getting back to the phone and walking like, holy moly, talking about not caring for yourself, right? Just keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. So how do we really care for ourselves? So I found a couple of verses that are really amazing. I just want to read them to you. So what I'm going to ask you to do is I want you to close your eyes. And as you close your eyes, I don't want you to judge yourself. I don't want you to say, I'm a horrible being for being so busy or for doing all those things. I just want you to allow these words to speak to you, whatever they are. Jesus says, "Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy, and my burden is light." Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything, by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. So how do we do that? Well, I'll give you just 3 really brief suggestions. Number 1, stop beating yourself. Okay? Don't beat yourself. People who are telling you need to self-care, don't feel the pressure. Don't allow that pressure from other people to get you down. You know what you need, right? Don't let the experts determine what you need. They don't know anything. All right? Believe me. Okay? I've been working with people for a very long time. And 99% of the time when I'm sitting with my clients, I'm going, I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing here. I really don't. Quite honestly, if you came to counseling with me, probably walk away. Somebody wants to ask me, so what's counseling about? It's like this. You spend $45,000 to get your master's degree to do 2 things. First of all, you go, tell me what the problem is. And people tell you, and then you go, and when this wasn't a problem, what did you do? And so they tell you, and go, wow, that's amazing. Could you do more of this? And people say, yeah, I could do more of this. That's $190. Thank you very much. Will that be credit card or check? How do you want to pay for this? That's all. That's all the counseling is. Seriously. By the way, I'll take donations afterwards for this. So don't feel pressure. And number 2, stop shooting all over yourself. Right? We are so good at shooting all over ourselves. How many of you have told yourself today, I should, and followed by something like that? Right? Yeah, hands up. Yeah, we did that, right? Don't. There's only 3 things you should do. Okay? You should listen to your body. If you're hungry, you should eat. If you're sleepy, you should, you should go. 2, you should obey the laws of this country. Okay? If you're driving through a school zone, you should drive 30, not 80. And second of all, you should obey the laws of nature. If you're on top of the building and you jump down, you should fall down, okay? You shouldn't be floating up in the air. Everything else we can talk about. So don't shoot all over yourself. And third thing and final thing is to refocus. I'm going to close with this, with Paul's words to Philippians. He says this, finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. You know, he leaves it very open. Doesn't tell you what you need to actually think about this very specifically. He believes that whatever is of these qualities, that's what you think about. So I hope that as we are doing and going through this holiday season, we will find time to do self-care, but not in a way that is often pushed on us, but in a way that works for us. Look, you know what? Let me tell you something. You all are very smart people. Every single one of us. We're smart people. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. So give yourself a credit. And at the end, I want you to do one little thing. Take your right or left hand, whatever works better for you. If you have that shoulder, just choose the other one. And just take your hand like that, lift it up, go on the back, pat yourself on the back, and say, I'm doing okay. Let's pray. God, thank you so much. You are so good to us. You have given so much to us, and oftentimes in this humdrum of Christmas and everything that goes around us, we forget how good you are to us. I just pray that you would love us and care for us and allow us to really find what works for us this season, being thankful for what you have given us. In the name of Jesus. Amen. Thank you. You're dismissed.